Hey everybody, welcome to the Pancake Boat Podcast. I'm your host as always, Chad. This is my co-host TF. How you doing tonight, TF?
I'm doing okay. A little under the weather tonight, but it's been way too long since we've done a podcast, and I'm just, as always, happy to be here doing this and hanging
It's
out
been over
with
a
my best
month now.
friends and getting ready to hopefully catch up on quite a bit that's gone on since our last show.
Yeah, man. Happy to hang out with you again. It's been I think it's been over a month.
Yeah, it's got to be close, if not over.
Sounds about right.
How about you, our other co-host, Joe? That's your
Um,
first name, our other co-host.
I'm doing good, but we can tell we're rusty because your hey only lasted like a little bit. Usually it goes on for a while.
I stopped doing that. I got old after.
Well, yeah, but it can't get old when we haven't done it in like I don't know how long. But it's good to be back. It feels a little bit weird, like we're just stepping right back into this. But I'm all set to go.
We have a lot to catch up on tonight, guys. I don't even know where to start. It's...
You guys do. I have some stuff, I guess. I'm a boring man. I don't have a whole lot.
A lot's changed. But
Yeah. You're married now.
I actually have like one or two topics I want to go over before we do the monologue to change it up, because tonight's going to be a very monologue heavy show, I think. There's a couple things I wanted to touch on.
Hey, there's
Right,
nothing wrong with
right.
mixing it up every now and then. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to talk about, and I've been wanting to talk about this on the podcast for a long time. What has been going on with these clowns?
I feel like we talked about this at one point, like last year when it was just like happening again or something. I don't know if you guys
I,
remember that.
this feels like a fairly recent thing to me. I mean, I'm sure that there's been like
No, yeah, I think
crazy clowns
I,
out there.
I think this was like Northern California or something like that. Because I remember us talking about like the news story on here, but that's all I remember. I'll let TF give his thoughts. I was just like,
Like this is really developed like the past month, because I've been waiting for like weeks to talk about this on the podcast, and it's like when I first heard about it, like my mom was telling me about it, and I was just thinking like, oh, is this like in one town? She's like, no, it's happening everywhere. So then I get on and I see like she's right. This is happening like all over the U.S. It's happening in Canada now. There's like clowns in the United Kingdom. Like what is going on here?
I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of like an internet meme that's got out of hand. I remember I first started really starting to kind of hit the news right there at the start of the month, a couple weeks ago. And I remember I first really started hearing about this. I heard about a couple like very, minor incidents and kind of few and far between up to that point. But it was actually, and I'll get more into this, when I talk about my past couple of weeks, past month, but it actually, while I was out of town, I was like checking the news on my phone with some of the guys from work while I was out there, and there was this news article about how this guy in a clown mask or whatever, like a scary clown, like robbed some 7-Eleven like back in our hometown, and we were like, what the heck is going on here? And then we started seeing all these other things popping up too, like these girls dressed as clowns that were like terrorizing like other girls in like one of the towns
Girls
around
too,
here.
man.
yeah.
They
There's
were,
been girls. I've seen that.
yeah, they were like, I don't know, they were like older teenagers, probably like 18 or 19, but apparently they're going to like to all these like, I don't know, terrorizing these other high school girls or something like that, and like threatening them with things and stuff. And that one was kind
Jeez.
of, I mean, it sounded kind of funny, but it would be kind of disturbing if you're like, basically some kid and you're being terrorized by these older people. But, um, yeah, it seems to be getting out of hand. Like it's starting to kind of have a snowball effect, and other people are seeing it, and there's like copycat stuff going on, and
There's people going out to fight the clowns. There's like these people that are like forming groups going out like clown hunting. I heard about. There was one
some,
guy that I like posted about on my Facebook the other day. He actually dressed up as Batman and went out to fight the clowns.
man, I'm just waiting for when somebody finally gets hurt or something like related to this, and I mean, it's bound to go there sooner or later.
What are your thoughts on all this clown stuff, Joe?
It's over the top. It's just one of those things where like when you told me about the whole clown hunting thing, it sounded amusing at first, but then you think about it, you think about like real clowns out there, and it's like,
I'm
like,
just thinking
like
about that. Like, what if you're actually like
yeah, like that's your
circus
job
clown
or something.
yeah.
It's just very weird to think about that and think about like clowns have to be like like watch where they go outside because they don't know what's gonna happen and
I'm picturing like this clown that does like kids parties. And, like he's going out to his car, and all of a sudden this mob of people walks up like, hey clown.
Oh man, it almost seems like some type of show has to do like a parody of this or something like that. I mean, like I don't know what show, but you know, you just know some show's gonna do that, like a clown-inspired episode. But
Oh yeah.
that's pretty much
Yeah.
my thoughts on it. It's just hard to know what to think, and it's like that's our world these days. Like clowns are the big issue of what's going on in the world. But
Oh yeah, that's the truth. I have a feeling though that this is one of those things where one day, like many years down the line, like some show is going to like profile this decade, and one of the things they're going to profile is going to be like the crazy clown stuff, and people are going to think that this was just like a commonplace thing that happened like in like the 2010s or something, you know, like people just would be terrorized by clowns randomly.
Between the clowns and this election, man, this is a really crazy time. That
Yeah.
I think people are probably going to look back on this era with shame, I would say.
I
Unless
probably
things get worse, which I really hope not.
I really feel like things have kind of started to hit rock bottom this year, like in the world. I mean, I think I want to think that it's all uphill from here, but
All right. My other topic is kind of a review that I've been waiting to do here on the show for a
ooh,
while. Have you guys heard of the Burger King Cheeto chicken fries?
I feel like I have, but I haven't like looked too much into it. I feel
I
like I've heard
did
of them.
see those.
I'm not a big Cheeto guy, and to be honest, it didn't really sound that good to me, but it's like anytime you like hear of this new weird fast food thing, it's like you got to try it just out of curiosity. So I went and got some of these things, and they're not very good. It just tastes like chicken fries with like Cheeto cheese all over it. It's just, I don't know. It just, I didn't think it was very good. My mom liked them, so I guess there are people out there that do like this, but I wasn't a big fan. Not much a review, just I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really sound all that great. I mean, yeah, you know, Cheetos are okay on their own, but I mean, chicken fries are kind of hard to improve on. They're kind of great as they are. It's one of those things I don't think you should really touch. Now they have like the spicy ones, which I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm okay with that every now and then. You know, that's a subtle change, but
It's not like the Taco Bell Dorito taco where it's like, oh, this makes sense. This is genius. Like when you hear like Burger King Cheeto chicken fries, you just kind of think, this is kind of forced. They're just kind of trying to do something. Like what are they going to do next? Like the Pringle burger or something?
you know, as weird as it sounds, and as many times as I've been to Taco Bell, I've actually never had one of those Doritos Locos tacos.
Dude, you should. They are really good. I didn't like them at first. Like the very first time that I tried them, I didn't like them. That was just because I got like the version with the whatchamacallit, the saucy stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's not that I don't want to try them. It's just because I always go there and I just forget or I get something else, and I'm just kind of one of those people who just always orders the same thing. I don't even think about it, and it's weird because, like I said,
Sour cream. I didn't like the sour cream on it.
there's literally a one like right next door to where I work, and I like, go in there all the time, but I never think to get one for some reason.
I want you to get one the next few days, TF, and report back to us here on the show.
I got to do that. I think I will do that.
They are like the only complaint that I have about them is the shell breaks apart kind of easily.
I think that's true with all those hard shell tacos, though. That always happens unless you kind of let them sit for a little while and the steam kind of makes it soft.
Yeah, but which I never do because when I get a taco, I just want to like tear it into it right then. But yeah, not a big fan of the Cheeto chicken fries. Any thoughts on this, Joe? I know you didn't try them, but does that sound like good to you?
I'm not really a fan of like a lot of like things. I mean, they do have like different types of fries with like cheese that's just kind of like nacho cheese or something like that melted into them, which sound okay. And I've had a little bit of those, and they've been okay. But like in terms of something like that, I don't know. I just don't think I would try it. Like, you know, it just wouldn't be my thing.
Understandable. All right, now let's get into our monologues here.
You
Who wants to go
you
first?
already know I'm gonna say I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna go first. So,
I'm going to go next because I am sure TF has much more exciting stories than that.
I don't know about
well,
exciting.
yeah, I've been looking forward to some of his stories. So, okay, so let's see. Where do I begin here? I guess I'll go with the whole laptop issues. I think we talked about that in the show last time.
Yeah, I think
so-
that was still going on last time.
Yeah, it was still going on. I just remember if we talked about it in the show like in depth. I'm pretty sure we did, anyways. But yeah, it's kind of hard to even explain what happened. I just remember like one day I woke up and I had this laptop on, and the current laptop, because I had my old laptop hooked up too, which worked. But like for some reason, I just noticed at the bottom of the screen that the time was actually like Central Time for some reason, like, which is like 2 hours ahead of me. I was like, well, that's strange, you know. And I kind of looked in the settings, and I was kind of looking towards changing the time, and it was something in the settings said like change or turn off like automatic time detection or whatever.
I hate when that happens.
So I did that, and like the whole thing just froze. Like like it was just slow. The laptop was just like slow. I remember, and it was like I just couldn't. I was like, well, I have like this thing isn't even working, so I have nothing to lose really by doing like a manual reset. So I clicked the button and it went off, and I reset it, and it came on, and I looked at the time, it was still messed up, and then I noticed at the side it had like the icon for the signal, which before said no connections available. Like had like this, like basically just like this connection thing with like a red X through it, like saying, oh, it's not available. But I noticed that was gone. It was actually like not connected at all. Where it had like the little, it was just like kind of blank, and it had like a little star next to it or whatever it is, and asterisks. So I clicked that, and I looked, and all my connections are there. I was just like confused by this. I was like, okay, well, maybe this will last for a day or two or something. At least it's something. But it's actually lasted this whole time, so I don't know what happened. But I'm still on Central Time on the laptop, which confuses me because I used to use that clock for just in general. But I'll take it if it means just working. So that's step number one in this whole thing.
So wait a second. You changed the time back to Central Time and the Wi-Fi started working again?
Yeah, I
nice.
can't even explain what happened. I don't know. I just restarted the whole thing.
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
It made no sense to me either. I can't even explain
That's
it, I
usually
guess.
the case, though. Like, anytime you have, like, this weird internet problem, like, it's always caused by something, like, totally weird that doesn't even make sense.
The only thing
It
I can
did.
think of is there's something like on like the main board of the computer, like underneath the motherboard, called the CMOS battery that basically is like the battery for the clock. And sometimes if things get funky with that, it can cause like weird issues with the motherboard or cause it to like the computer not come on at all. The only thing I can think of is there's something wrong with that battery that's causing it to, and that would cause the clock to reset or change. So that's the only thing I can think of, but that still doesn't make any sense why that would affect the Wi-Fi.
I don't know. I just know like before that wasn't working. I just restarted, and all of a sudden it was like on. I was just like confused. So like I like that whole day I was just like I was waiting for it to go back off. I was like, oh, this is just some type of like before where it just automatically popped up in the like in the queue like, oh, your adapter's being able to read again. But then for days it wouldn't read, and I was like, yeah. I think the real test was like restarted, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna restart this thing. It's gonna be off, and I restarted, and it's there again. I'm just like confused, and this whole time I've been like, well, it's probably gonna go up at some point, but at the very least I have it for now. So I don't even know what happened. I couldn't even tell you outside the
Hey,
time
let's
thing.
not jinx it. Let's just accept that it's working.
I do have one question though. Are you still on Windows 8 now, or did you go back to Windows 10?
No, it was able to go back to Windows 10. It updated. Yeah, I actually spent that day upgrading because I remember telling Chad, oh, I gotta upgrade to Windows 10 again before we could do anything. Because I
Wait,
told
how
him
did
that
you get
like
it to
right after.
upgrade to 10 though if it wasn't connected to the internet?
No, I did it when I connected when it went
Oh,
back.
okay.
When time happened that same day when I told Chad, I was like, yeah, we can't do anything today though because I gotta upgrade. So I spent I think it took like an hour or two to upgrade, but it eventually did. Works
Well,
fine and
it's
everything
nice that it
too.
let you do that. Like, sometimes it gives you trouble trying to re-upgrade it again.
Yeah, I remember you told me like that I might do that. And I was kind of worried about that, but I just figured, well, it popped up with like, oh, you need to download these updates, which some of which aren't even like, oh, can you like let me choose? It was just like you need to restart and get these updates. So I had to do that. But all right, that was that event, and then see what else I got here. Uh, I went to that party, which was pretty much your standard party. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of people there. It was fun for what it was. Blurred Lines played always. Oh, as always, it feels like that has to play like every time for some reason.
I'm still playing at the parties.
Yeah, I did these parties. I don't know if it plays like other parties, but
Wait, what's still playing at the parties?
Blurred Lines song. Remember the
Oh,
wheelchair guy?
yeah.
He was there, but he wasn't dancing this time. He got in the pool though, which is pretty interesting to see. But um, like this isn't as fresh in my mind anymore as it would have been a few weeks ago. So I don't really have like a ton to say about it. But
Yeah, I have a few things like that too.
yeah, but it was fun in general. Just kind of see that side of the family again, and just get out for a little bit and get to do stuff. My aunt's living back here again, which has kind of caused a little bit of issues like last week with the podcast. But thankfully today's been pretty solid. It's been mostly hectic on the weekends because she's usually here on they're usually here like fully on the weekends, whereas in the weekdays they come back like maybe 9 or 10. Or today they have like football, like a football game and stuff, so they come back at like 1 or 2 in the morning, which isn't like ideal for like my grandparents, but for the podcast and stuff, it's pretty ideal. But yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge, but in general, it's just been like kind of a few challenges here and there, but they seem to pass, so they can't complain about too much right now. So I'm doing good, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about this like a standalone thing, but me and Chad have been playing the new WWE game lately too.
Yeah.
We had planned to do a games podcast, which is funny because it's funny because I'll even take the blame for this. I kept like holding it off because like yeah, I'm not like quite in that excited mood
I
yet.
kept saying, hey, Joe, you want to do this podcast? Like, to get ready for the game? He's like, no, let's wait till it's about to come out.
Yeah, because I was like, I kind of want to do it when I'm it's close to coming out, so I get even more excited for it. But then it was like the week before, like it was my aunt. I didn't know my aunt was moving in. Like I got told the day of she was moving in, so it was like I got told that, and me and Chad were talking about this. I'm just like, yeah, I should have done that podcast back then. But if I had known then what I know now, but yeah, other than that, I don't.
I like the game, like, as far as the game before we move away from that. I like the game, but there's always got to be some issue. And we were playing the other night, and, like, it was, like, lagging like crazy.
It was lagging. There was one match where we got split up and stuff like that, where he was having one match.
That is the worst, when we start in one match, but, like, somehow by the end of the match, we're, like, playing different matches. Like, I don't know how that happens, but...
A lot of people complain about that, so it's hard to even to measure what it is, but... Yeah, overall, I like the game too. I think this year is kind of a lot more options for online. They kind of have to fix a lot of stuff with online, but once they do, I think it'll be good. I think there's a lot of good about the game. There's obviously some bad too. There's limitations.
They need to get their act together.
Well, it depends on what you mean. Do you mean like online wise?
Online mainly.
Yeah, they aren't really the best reputable company when it comes to like online services. So it's like, yeah, you got to kind of come to accept some of that. But yeah, they should not be having these issues. They probably should be patching this relatively soon to get these issues sorted out, and a whole lot of glitches too. But
is this
yeah,
just
overall,
happening with like the console version, or is there also like is this happening like all around? Like this is just a problem with the game in general and their servers?
I don't think there is a computer version.
No,
Is there?
No, I don't know if they are making one, but if they do, it comes out like in later on, like maybe like January or March. But no, this is like a problem with in general with 2K.
I heard that they were going to have one come out for a PC. That's the only reason why I ask.
Yeah, I think it
probably
comes out after. Yeah, it's not like
I think
NBA.
right now it's just Xbox One, Xbox 360, and PS3 and 4.
Yeah, I think so too. I think eventually it'll come out with the thing though. But yeah, it's been fun to kind of just explore the game. I feel like I haven't really, got into the full thing yet. But once I do, it'll be, just easy to kind of, get into it and make different stuff and create different stuff. There's a whole lot of options, and if I was someone like recommending whether to buy it or not, I'd probably say rent it first because I think I think in general you should just kind of feel the game out for yourself. But there's a lot.
I feel like they kind of rushed it. Like usually it's a couple weeks before it comes out. Like usually it's late October, sometimes even early in November, but for whatever reason, like they brought it out like very early October this year.
Yeah, it seems like it's a good idea in theory to kind of just do something different, but if you want like a better game than that, you want like a like a more well thought out game that isn't full of bugs and stuff. So I don't know if we'll see.
I was looking at some GIFs that people made of it last night, and there are a lot of problems. Like I saw this one match where like Cena was facing someone and just like they lock up and all of a sudden like Cena just drops to the floor, like it starts spinning around. And I don't know what was happening.
I seen one where they were backstage and like I forgot what it was. It was like some creator wrestler like grabbed Naomi and like hit her with some type of like object, and she started like floating around the backstage area, like being dragged by this like randomly. I saw like I had one in the game where I was playing with my cousins the first night I got it, where we were doing like a ladder match with John Cena and Samoa Joe, and John Cena wanted to do like a power bomb off the ladder, but it kind of glitched, and Samoa Joe fell to the mat where Cena was, and like Cena still did the power bomb, and Samoa Joe like still got to the mat, but afterwards Cena was like on his knees doing like a moonwalk backwards on his knees or something, like just can't even explain it. He was just moving around the ring like he was brawling or something. It was weird.
Hold on a second. Before we move on from this, I gotta find this GIF. I gotta show you guys this GIF.
I can't.
Reminding me of that.
TF can see it, but I can't.
With what were we when we were playing like 2K16 and What was that happened? We were doing that match, and all of a sudden, like, was it you, Joe, that got like stuck or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
turning into this
lost.
big blob all of a sudden for no reason.
I still have to have my highlights. It's still there.
All right, TF, I'm gonna let you describe this for Joe since he can't see
All
it.
right.
Like a random person tweeted this. Take a look at that, TF, and do a little commentary.
All right, I'm gonna do a little commentary on this. I'm opening it up. Got this Twitter link here. I gotta say, he has a pretty hilarious avatar on here too. It looks like he's like Luigi or something with a mustache. Okay, let's see here. So, see, he falls down face first. Now he kind of starts like spinning around, like I don't know, like grabbing his head and like doing a somersault on the ground. What the heck?
To you on your laptop, Joe?
Yeah, I can see it on Facebook if you leave me on there.
I'm gonna send this to you on Facebook.
Actually,
I know this is great radio, but
I gotta link you to a quiz later too. I just thought about that. Fortunately, I don't have
Yeah.
Skype downloaded on my laptop, which
we should just do like a whole show just sending each other gifs. I think that would be a great podcast.
it would
I don't
be.
even know how to describe this. It's like he just goes
You
limp,
lost here.
starts like flipping around.
All right, kill time while I send this to Joe.
All right.
Tell a joke, TF.
I tell a joke. Amuse us with your comedy.
Joke.
Joke.
I'm not too good at jokes.
There you go, Joe.
Yeah, that was the joke.
I see the avatar now TF was talking about, but
I know.
all right, I'll describe this for all your listeners. CM Punk is doing an arm bar. Cena just fell to the floor and like did a roll. Like he flare flopped and did like a rollover to like his stomach. That's the only way I could. Yeah, and Punk just like got kicked in the face somehow, even though he wasn't near him. The very very odd transition there.
Great
Oh,
job,
man.
2K.
Yeah, there's a lot of glitches in the game. They gotta patch that. I believe there were last year too, so it's not like they gotta really.
Oh, there's
perfect
always
that.
glitches. And to be fair, there were glitches back in DHQ days too.
Yeah, some of them we used to do on purpose. Like we talked about that chamber glitch where we'd go out the chamber and kind of just
Yeah.
like just get out the chamber and do all kinds of stuff in there. But
One where we were like ran into darkness in the crowd.
yeah, we like ran into the arena and like eventually you ran into the crowd in the stands and you go into like darkness because there's no animations for like the rest of the arena. It was weird. You could fight
It
there.
almost looked like a cartoon or something. Like you're just like running across the screen from like a distance, and it was funny.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. Those type of things are always funny to me. Like whenever there's like a glitch in a game, it can lead to some pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I think that was my time. So whoever's next, you get the baton.
All right.
Handing you the baton, Chad.
I will take that baton, cartoon baton. Let's see. I think the last time we did a podcast, it was still kind of summer weather, so I was still pretty miserable. But I was very anxiously counting down the days until fall, and now it's here. Fall is here, and I'm very happy about that. The weather's cooled off quite a bit. I'm drinking some Mountain Dew Game Fuel, which I look forward to every year. I had some trouble earlier this month. Like I was going to the store like almost every day, like looking for the Game Fuel, wondering when it was coming out, and like I think I was even kind of like cranky one day on Facebook. You remember that, Joe?
Yeah,
They didn't have Game Fuel
you're
in.
telling
You're
me-
like, calm down, man.
you're telling me it's not fall without game fuel. You're like, you weren't shouting, obviously shouting it, but you're like typing in caps, so I have to like captivate that whole thing.
That is a big part of fall for me. That's like the beginning of fall. Like when I drink my first Game Fuel, that is the beginning of fall. So I take that very seriously. But I'm very happy that I have that now, and you can go in any store now and you see it everywhere. So I'm all set with that for a while. I think it's out till probably like January or so. So quite happy about that. Happy about the weather. I remember there was one day, which feels like it was quite a while ago, but I have it written down here. I guess that day that I stayed at my mom's house because I had to take care of her dogs when she was out of town, and that was an experience. They were like running around the house, and I had a tough time with that. Like when you're trying to take care of these two dogs.
Aren't they
and
like
calm-
pit bulls too? You said, or am I wrong with that?
No, one's like kind of a bigger dog. I don't know what kind he is. The other is like a beagle, but
Oh, okay.
they were going nuts, and I'm not really used to dogs anymore. I used to be when I was a kid, like, and I had George and stuff when I lived with my mom, but now I just have my cat, so I'm not used to having to let them out all day and having them just like go nuts. They almost knocked over one of my mom's plants, so they were being pretty crazy. And the internet at my mom's house isn't too good either, so I was kind of like just relying on TV. And it feels like anytime I go somewhere, like staying at my mom's house or if I'm like in a hotel or something, it feels like somehow I always end up watching like hours of Big Bang Theory on TBS. It feels like every night TBS has like this 3 or 4 hour block of the Big Bang Theory. So I was like watching hours of that. I didn't really get that much sleep because I don't really sleep too well when I'm not in my own bed. So I woke up at like 4:35 in the morning and I like put on some like local farm show or something.
Local farm show.
There was like these two old guys like ranting about millennials.
I remember
and,
that. You told me about that.
like how all millennials need a medal or something. It was weird. And thankfully the next day, huh?
Need a medal? What?
Yeah, you know that like that thing people say about like millennials, like everybody wins the race, everybody gets a medal. Like,
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah. They were torturing this younger like weather guy was like doing the show with them, and they're like making fun of him nonstop, and he just kind of looked miserable. That's the kind of TV that's on at 5 o'clock in the morning, I guess. But thankfully, it was kind of worth it the next day because my mom came home. She was downstate with my sister, and she brought me some Five Guys. So that's always a good time.
Always a good time.
But other than that, yeah, Joe kind of covered WWE 2K17. That's something we look forward to every year, and pretty fun game, although there's a lot of issues with it that we're kind of hoping get cleared up over time. There's always some disappointment. Usually, in my case, it's anger. Usually, there's been more than a few years where I've actually tweeted 2K like you screwed us over. One year, I think I like vowed I would never get it again, and of course I did the next year, but... Another thing I've really been looking forward to is my TV shows coming back, so that's been keeping me busy. I've been happy about having the Flashback and Arrow and all my shows, so been happy about that. Just loving this time of year. You know, you guys know me in this time of the year, like October, November, December, like that couple months, just like the best time of the year for me. So I've been happy. Outside of that, not too much going on.
Well, I definitely agree with you that I'm really happy that fall's coming. I mean, normally I'm not too excited about it, but for some reason this year, I'm a little more excited about it, kind of cooling
Well, you said it
down,
always
weather getting
rains
nicer.
there. Like, it usually rains more here in the summer, so...
Yeah, basically it's kind of like basically like Trip 3 in Chicago. Like basically that's what the weather is like every fall.
Yeah, I can see why you're probably not too crazy about it.
Kind of a mixture between that and Trip 2's weather, where it just gets randomly cold and windy, and the wind never stops.
Well, I like that. I like it being chilly.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to sleeping, because I really like when it's chilly, and I can have like a blanket to like just get cozy with. When it's hot, I don't like that. Jeff? Joe?
I'm here. I don't know if TF is.
Sorry, having some mic issues here, but
All right.
yeah, I mean, I usually am like a big fan of summer. Like spring and summer are usually my favorite time of the year, but this year
You are my enemy.
I'm excited for it to cool down. Not too excited for like snow and stuff like that yet, but
I usually am. I'm not ready for it for like another month, but usually like right before Thanksgiving, I always love the first snow of the year. I always get excited about that.
yeah, it's starting to feel really cozy and like really Halloween-like too, seeing all like the decorations and stuff and like pumpkins and leaves
Yeah.
finally starting to change and starting to fall. And took their time here, but they're finally starting to change, it seems. So
I love the look of the trees in the fall.
such a cozy time of year.
So what you been up to, my man? I see.
Yo, that UTF, this year's gonna be the year of the Macho Man. He's gonna back down on you. Can you dig it, TF? Can you dig it? The Macho Man, oh yeah.
I'm just just gonna make that
been up to.
my intro from now on.
It's just gonna be like a drop we have on every show now. Huh?
Yeah, like hey, how you doing tonight, TF? And then that's gonna be I'm just gonna drop that. But
You should always like bust it out at like unexpected times. Unless we're talking about something serious, like I broke my leg or something, and I'm telling the sad tale, and all of a sudden I hear, "Oh yeah, dig it, TF."
no, I think actually I am probably gonna come to bring it out then. But no, I'm just kidding. Oh man, I don't even remember when we did our last show. I think it was right.
I think it was mid-September.
Yeah, like right before my birthday. I think it was. So.
Happy belated birthday, TF.
Happy belated birthday.
Well, it didn't really do anything, which honestly, like that's usually how I prefer things. So pretty low key. I was working that day, so nothing too big. I don't really do a whole lot for birthdays, and like I said, I've been so busy with everything, and just kind of nothing really worked out. But I'm okay with that. I'm cool.
I like to go eat on my birthday. That's about it.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do anything like that. So, but another year older. Another year
wiser.
Another year wiser. Hopefully wiser. But
Another year closer to the grave.
That too. Oh, so let's see where to start here. Probably should start with mainly the main big thing. The only thing that's too interesting from my past few weeks, my past month was the business trip that me and some of the guys
I've been waiting to hear about this.
had to take out to the other side of the state over in Lansing near the capital for basically, I mean, I think the best way to describe this is they've rolled out a lot of changes to the company, and they want to make sure like all the new guys to the company kind of are aware of those changes, and just to kind of get people back to basics, I think. But the problem is they're also making all the people who have been there go as well, which, I mean, I'm not really new there anymore, and none of the other guys I was going with really were new to the company or anything. And so I was kind of had mixed feelings about this. In a sense, I kind of felt like, oh, hey, it might be kind of fun to go out with, these guys I know from work, hang out in, a strange town and, find stuff to do. And, we're pretty close to like a big college town, so we're thinking, oh, there's probably going to be fun stuff to do around here.
Ooh, any ladies?
Let's just say there was nothing to do around there. There kind of was a little bit of drama leading up to it because, as I know I talked to you about this too, Chad, my mom ended up in the hospital and got really sick, and we ended up having to like call an ambulance for her and stuff, and so there was like a lot of drama like the day before this was happening, and I'm wondering, am I even going to make it out here? And
how's she doing now, by the way?
she's doing much better, thankfully. She seems to be doing
That's
pretty
good.
good. But I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, that it's just kind of a part of life over the past 15, 20 years for me, like stuff like this happening. And
Yeah, my mom had kind of a rough patch earlier this month too. She's doing a little better though. That's good.
It's one of those things where I'm sure it's going to happen again, but everything's fine, and nothing too bad. So we're just kind of like, hey, it's part of life, something we have to deal with, and as long as everything turns out okay, it's okay. We don't want it to happen, but just gotta stay on the ball. But so yeah, that was kind of a little bit of a dramatic lead up to it, because this was the day before I was supposed to leave, and initially I was going to leave the day before we were supposed to be there, so I could kind of check into the hotel and kind of get settled in. And that didn't really happen, because the day before I was supposed to do all that was the day when this drama went down. So I was all exhausted the next day, and I wanted to go up there and visit my mom and stuff, and kind of hang out there. And by then it was just kind of too late to really head up there. And to make matters worse, we was having car trouble too. So I wasn't even going to be able to drive myself up there. I was either going to have probably my brother drive me up there, or one of the guys from work. But thankfully, one of the guys from work wasn't leaving until the next morning, because it's kind of funny. Me and one of my pals from work, one of the newer guys, we basically got picked to room together there. So we were like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be too bad. But the other guy was kind of the odd man out, because he was going to get, rooming with some guy that none of us even knew from another store that was heading up there. So he kind of was like, well, I'm just going to buy, I'm going to get my own hotel room. I'm just going to pay for it, because I don't want to be stuck with some weird person I don't know. And we were like, well, hey, if you want to, just, chill with us or whatever, hang with us, we don't care, we'll find some way to make it work. And he was like, no, no, I'm just gonna get my own hotel room and pay for it, kind of make it like a vacation. So I was like, well, that works. So I'll just go up with him, the next day, and then just check in, and see what's going on after the first day that we're out there with like the whatever, like meeting and training and stuff. So the next morning we have to leave like super early for this because it starts at 9 a.m. and it's going to be like a 2-hour drive out there. So we wanted to have time to kind of get ready first. So we left like about 6. It's kind of, in some ways, a pretty cozy morning, like leaving like as the sun's coming up and all that. And I remember, we were both kind of like, do we really want to do this? It might not be fun, but there was also kind of the sense of, hey, I guess we're just going to go on an adventure, because we don't really know how things are going to be. And so we were kind of joking about that on the way there. And it's kind of a cozy ride up there. But once we got there, we were kind of confused too, because we're like, well, where even is this place? And we kind of had an idea, but I've been out in that area a couple times. Nothing, I haven't really hung out or explored, but I've been through there several times. So like we drive past the hotel and we're like, oh, well, at least we know where the hotel is. And then we're trying to figure out where the store is that we're going to, where they're holding this meeting and stuff at. And we thankfully make it there on time because we left early enough, but it was late enough I didn't really have time to really change into my work clothes. So I'm like trying to do that like in the car or whatever, like putting my shirt on and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna look like a bum like walking in here with like shirt all wrinkled and stuff. And so that was a little bit less than desirable, but that was only the start of the less than desirable things that would happen that day. Because we got there and everyone's like kind of sitting in this like big like meeting room or whatever with like this like projector, like a PowerPoint thing, and no one's really sure what's going on. And we're like, well, where is everybody? And the guy who was kind of hosting all of this, we get someone from the store ends up coming in and saying like, oh, hey, he called in and said he's going to be late. He's having a personal issue. And we're like, oh boy, this is the start of what could be a pretty long day, because we're already scheduled to be there for 8 hours. Probably like about 45 minutes later, the guy walks in like all disheveled looking and is like, so, hey, it turns out I have pneumonia and I'm not going to be able to do this today. So, you guys can go home, and oh yeah, you're not getting paid for today either. So, and then just like walked out and turned around and left. And we were all just kind of looked at each other and we're like, and here's the thing, this guy was apparently like a medic in the army or something like this before. We're all thinking like, so you mean to tell me that you have pneumonia and you didn't know about this 24 hours ago and you couldn't have like at least told us, hey, don't show up today, you're not even going to get paid anyways? So we were like,
lying,
all like
honestly.
ticked off. Like we were all like really ticked off because the guy didn't seem too sick. Like, I mean, he probably was sick. I mean, you don't just call something off like this if you're not like legit sick, but it's like you just got out of like urgent care this morning. Like you like you didn't know about this. Like, you could have maybe at least dropped like a little hint like, hey guys, we might not be doing it. Wait till we all drive like 2 hours out there. And here's what made it worse too, because the hotel is like quite a ways away from the store where they were holding this meeting. We were kind of stuck out there all day because the guy who I was with couldn't even check into his hotel until like 3 p.m. that day because he wasn't checking into the one that I was checking in. So we're just kind of sitting there all angry, like, oh, come on, like, what are we even doing here at this point? And I guess someone came in and said, oh yeah, we're going to fly someone in from New York tomorrow so they can do this instead. And we're like, well, if you drove here, and you're not staying in a hotel, you can go home. If not, you guys can go back to your hotel or whatever. So at this point, we're all like just defeated and like walking out of this like conference room and wondering what we're even going to do the rest of the day. And we were like, well, we didn't really want to go back to the hotel because, the guy we were with couldn't go back to his hotel yet because he couldn't check in. So we were like, well, we'll just hang around and see if there's anything here around town. And we went to an IHOP, which kind of reminded me of some fun times that we had before our trips going to IHOP. It kind of reminded me of that IHOP over there in like Rosemont. But honestly, that was probably the highlight of the day, just going in there and like getting breakfast, because there was actually a couple of funny things where like one of the things that, and I kind of half don't really want to tell this because it sounds bad, but it was funny enough that I'm just going to tell it anyways. The lady that was helping us out, like she was kind of, I don't want to say like, okay, so here's the deal. Like she takes us to the table or whatever, and I go to sit down. I notice that someone spilled coffee all over like the seat, and I was like, oh, would you mind like wiping that up or whatever? And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go get a cloth or whatever. And she just wipes it down with like a wet cloth and like doesn't dry it off. So I'm just kind of sitting there like, well, what am I supposed to sit down on this wet seat? Like, I wasn't even really mad at her. I was just kind of confused. Like, are they going to come with like a towel or something? And they never did. So I basically just ended up getting like a bunch of paper towels from the bathroom or something and like wiping it down. But she was like this nice older Asian lady. And then the reason why I mention that is because it kind of plays into the story here a little bit. So she comes and asks us if we want anything to drink. And I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of half annoyed, but she already brought us like a water and I go to sip that. And like, I kind of like half like drinking this while she says something to me and I was like, no, thank you. Well, the way that it came out, like, because I had like this water in my mouth and I was like kind of swallowing it at the time, it kind of sounded like I was making like a fake like Asian accent or something when I said this.
Oh.
And both the guys like start laughing because they think I'm just trying to be rude or something. And I'm like, what? What's so funny about this? And I still don't even know how it sounded that way, but apparently that's how it sounded. And that kind of became like a running gag, like the whole rest of the trip over that. Like, oh yeah, you're like you insulting that poor old lady because she wouldn't wipe down your seat.
Racist, yeah.
I know. And then like, I'm like, oh, this legitimately like that was not like how I intended it to sound, but apparently it was how it sounded. But needless to say, I was like super nice to her the rest of the way because I didn't want to come off like that was what I was trying to say. But you know, it's always fun going to IHOP and getting the usual. Well, actually, I didn't even get the usual this time. I think I got these, like, I don't know, some kind of apple cinnamon pancakes or something, which were, like, pretty good. I enjoyed that. But the rest of that first day, though, was just torture. Because after we left there, like, there's really nothing else to do in that area. And we didn't really even know what to do. So we decided to just go to the mall that was across the street from the store. And basically, this mall, like the way it looked, the way it was laid out, it reminds me of the mall that you kind of talk about going to every now and then, Chad, where there's like not a whole lot going on. Like a lot of the stores are closed, not really much to do. So we're basically just walking around this dead mall for hours and like trying to find something to do. And I'm like just so tired now because I'm just bored and defeated from the fact that basically this whole day is like there's no point in me even being here at this point. And I'm just like, we're just sitting there in like these chairs in the middle of the mall, like trying not to fall asleep. And eventually we found this theater like across town that we wanted to go to, and we were just going to see a movie, but the earliest showing wasn't until 3 p.m. So we just sat there for like 2 hours, like on our phones, like trying not to fall asleep. And it was like, that was rough. that was really rough.
You guys should have created your own adventures, like made videos or something. I feel like we would have did that.
Yeah, we probably would have, but I mean, we were just kind of like, we were in this town we're not familiar with. It was kind of awkward, and I mean, we eventually did make. I mean, this is just the first day of like a several day long trip, so the first day that you know, it wasn't so great, but it did kind of perk up later on in the afternoon once you know we made it to this theater, which was actually this pretty cool, like kind of like a high end type theater where they had like this seating where you could like have them like bring you dinner or whatever or something while you were eating or whatever.
Wow.
So they had like these big like huge like cushiony chairs. We're like, oh, this place is pretty cool. I think it was called like something like Studio C, like something Bistro or something. It's pretty cool there. I liked it. It was like a really like modern looking theater, and I don't know if they have more of those, but
Where'd you go see?
we seen this. I'm trying to think what it was called. Like, it was like a western called like Magnificent.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I never had seen like the original one back in the '60s, but I thought it was like it was a really good movie. You know, it was kind of. I mean, I like westerns a lot, so I mean, I thought it was. I mean, it wasn't like I'm like jumping on my chair like, oh, you know, this movie was awesome or something like that, but I thought it was like, you know, kind of a cozy experience in there in this theater I'll probably never again.
I've never been a big Western fan.
I mean, I'm not like a huge Western fan or anything, but I enjoy them. You know, it's kind of fun seeing like something that's kind of wild, wild west. You know?
I always liked the idea of it. I just never actually liked watching the movies. But like, I always loved like the Western themed like restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Like what was that Bonanza?
Yep, Texas Roadhouse.
I love Bonanza. There's a Texas Roadhouse like across the street from where I work, but I haven't been in there yet.
Oh, you should. That place is amazing.
Yeah, I see people going there, like bringing stuff back. I'll probably have to do that one of these days. But
I think it's one of the best restaurants I've ever been to. Sorry to cut you off.
oh no, not at all. But after that, things kind of started to look up in the first day because then we were able to actually go back to the hotel and kind of hang out there for a while and get unpacked. And that night we decided to go to this, actually drive into town, like into East Lansing and hang out there, which honestly, like I wish you'd have gone there more because that was like probably the most alive place that in the whole area that we went through. Like we went through there at night, but there was like people hanging out, like people partying and stuff, and probably not very much your scene, Chad, but we ended up going to this.
It wasn't on my scene. What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, well, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of loud music, and a lot of dubstep.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely not my scene.
A lot of partying. So,
Guessing you're not your scene either, Joe.
No, I'm guessing that's not That doesn't sound like TF scene to me either. Like
not
him
really,
saying,
no.
yeah, I don't think it would be mine for sure.
I don't hate it, but college stuff. It's a college town. You know,
I would've
There's
wanted-
college girls there, then it's my scene.
I would have
no.
wanted TF to take a video of him like listening to this dancing to this dubstep music.
Well, we actually ended up stopping in this really cool sports bar called Hopcat, where it's kind of pricey there, but we were like, well, we're going to end up getting reimbursed for like whatever we like eat here, so we were like, well, whatever. And so it's a really cool atmosphere, like a really cool sports bar type place. They have a lot of like craft beer and stuff, and like interesting sandwiches, and I think you kind of have an idea of like what kind of place it is just by using those two terms. So it was a really cool, really cozy place. Like really, really packed there, at night. But
Did you order like some $60 steaks since they're covering it?
actually, no, we didn't. We just ordered like the burgers were pretty expensive too. I mean, it was probably like $20-something a person, for everything. But really, really good burgers there. We got like this kind of like I don't know, it's like some kind of like a barbecued bacon type burger or whatever, just like really, really good. These really good fries called like crack fries or something like that.
Crack fries?
I don't know why they're called that, but
Because there is like as addicting as crack.
and there was like these like pretzel bite things that were like an appetizer or whatever, like extremely good, like with this really hot like dipping sauce. Like just I really loved it. Like this is probably like my favorite place that we went to the whole trip. And I'm glad I stopped in there because I know that there's like it's called Hopcat. I know there's one in Detroit, but I've never been to it. I don't know if there's any other ones. I think there's one in Chicago actually too, but
We'll go there one day.
yeah, it kind of a little bit reminded me of Hooters in a way. Like, it wasn't like the girls there or anything, but the type of food, you think of like beer and burgers and wings and stuff, but like higher end, but it's a really, really cool place, and I was glad we stopped in there. Not pretty much finished off the first day, which, I mean, in all honesty, like, I know I said it was terrible. I mean, it could have went better, but there were highlights. There were
That
highlights.
sounds kind of fun to me, honestly.
But trying to think, the second day, that actually was when things started to kind of come together as far as like the whole meeting thing, which was kind of funny though because same time, same place. There's this new guy who comes in and he was explaining how like, oh yeah, I had just got back to my home in New York, and I get a call and they tell me that I have to come to Lansing to do this, and I was like, well, where is that? And I was just there the next day, and I'm thinking like, man, what a life. I wouldn't mind that type of life though, like traveling, never knowing where you're going to be the next day. But
Yeah, that sounds fun.
but it was kind of funny though because the guy basically condensed like all the stuff from day one and day two into one day, and he's talking about how, oh well, tomorrow we're not going to be able to condense anything. We're going to go in more in depth in some stuff, and everyone there's kind of like So you mean to tell me that we were able to get everything out of day 1 and day 2 condensed into one day, but we're still going to have to like draw everything out again tomorrow? Like, can't we just condense that too? like, like, like no one wanted to be there at that point. And like the funny thing is, like I don't think that it was really all that bad. Like it wasn't like it was that terrible, but it just got off on such a bad foot that it's like people say about first impressions and stuff. Like you can never make a first impression twice. It just got off on such a bad note that it didn't matter what happened from that point. Everyone was going to be like, "This is the worst thing ever." You know, this is terrible. But
It's funny, like, you're telling me this, and I don't think any of it sounds that bad. Like, even the first day, it's like, oh, great, I don't have to work.
well, that's the thing though. Like, I mean, between the time where we had to work more or less and do anything else, there was like a 5-hour period where we had literally nothing to do. Like there was literally nothing to do. We were just sitting in a mall, like trying to stay awake. So,
Yeah, but you're there with people. I mean, that sounds kind of fun to me.
I mean, it's one of those things where in the future, I'll probably look back on it more fondly. I mean, I think the same could be said kind of about like some of our trips that we've had, where there have been like really
Yeah.
terrible times where it's like, yeah, I mean, we're there. It's
Fair
fine, but
enough.
there's like stuff, you know, when you're in that moment and you're experiencing
Trip 3.
that. Yeah. And again, in the future, I'll probably look back at like I look at trip 3. It's like, oh, all that stuff's funny now. You know, it's a memory. But yeah, there wasn't really too much going on the second day. Although we did order like this. I'm trying to think where it was from. I think it was from this place called Old Chicago. This pizza place. Another really kind of expensive place where we were just like, well, we're not paying for it, so let's just like let's go all out, you know. And we basically ordered like a pizza for ourselves, like each. And
Nice.
we just like kind of went there and like brought it back to the hotel room and just like ate it there, more or less, which I was cool with because I'm all tired out after kind of being out all day. But
Did you eat the whole thing, buddy?
I think I ate like half of it.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah. The other half I put into the refrigerator, and I'm guessing because it was like a really fresh pizza where they use like real ingredients or whatever, it kind of goes bad pretty quickly. So I kind of forgot about it in there for like a couple days. So like I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like I destroyed the refrigerator in that hotel room thanks to this. But
Jeez.
but because it had like a very strong, like very like garlic smell. Like I don't think that's something that's gonna go away very quickly. But
Destroying bathrooms, destroying refrigerators. TF does it all in hotel rooms.
thankfully, I didn't destroy anything in the bathroom. But it was kind of funny because the guy who I was rooming with, like he really didn't want like the cleaning lady or whatever to come in there at all, like while we were there, because he was kind of afraid that they were gonna like take something or whatever. And I was like, dude, I totally understand. Like I've been in hotels
I'm like
before
that, too.
where like where I'll be sleeping and like the cleaning lady will come in there and like start cleaning while I'm asleep. Like, and I mean, you remember, like I would tell you those
Yeah.
stories about how I like opened my eyes and I'm like, what's this shadowy figure in the window? And then it's like the cleaning lady in there like messing around. But so
Should have told them about what you did in bathroom.
well, so this is the kind of the funny thing though. After the first night there, I was kind of like, oh, it's not too bad. I heard some horror stories about this hotel, so I'm glad it's nice. It's a pretty nice hotel. I mean, it wasn't quite as like bad as like the Roadway, but it was kind of in between the Roadway and I would say like that. What was that one we went to over there by like the Allstate
Oh,
Arena?
yeah,
Best Western or something.
Best Western.
Yeah, it was kind of in between those two. So it was pretty nice. And it actually had its own bathroom with a sink in there, which is obviously a plus. And sometimes they'll just put the sink out in the middle of the room for whatever.
I never understand that.
I don't either. I guess it's just so people can get ready while someone else is showering. I don't know. But after we were there for a while, we like kind of used up all the towels. And we were like, well, the cleaning lady isn't going to come in and deliver them. But we also were like, well, we need some other stuff for like laundry, like put that in, whatever. So it was kind of funny because one night we just call and we're like, hey, do you think you could bring us up a bunch of towels and like some trash bags and I think something else like toilet paper? And you could tell that the person on the line was like, what the heck is going on? They need like towels and trash bags. Like, I don't know if they thought like we got like a body up there or something we were trying to dispose of, or if there was like some kind of like sex act gone bad or something we needed to clean up. Like, like
Whoa.
you think of like weird stuff that could happen in a hotel. And we're just like, yeah, could you bring us up a bunch of towels and some trash bags? We're just kind of like, they're probably thinking like something bad just happened. But so that was kind of funny. But the hotel wasn't too bad. Other than that, I mean, day 3 kind of the same as day 2, but afterwards we went to this really nice like we were like, well, we just want to go all out now, like just because they're going to pay for it, and we decided to go to this really expensive like seafood restaurant called Gilbert and Blake's, and I kind of reminded me like of that scene in the Blues Brothers where like they go into that restaurant and they're like eating the shrimp or whatever, and like there's like all these like classy people around them or whatever, and they're kind of just like goofing off. Like that's what it kind of felt like when we were in there, because it's like this really classy establishment, and like one of my buddies from work, like he ordered like this like fish or whatever, and he's like dipping it in ketchup or whatever and eating it, which I was kind of laughing at. He was like, "Oh, can I get some ketchup?" And the guy was like, "Ketchup?" We're like, "Yeah, can I get some ketchup?" I was like, "Joe, you would have hated this guy, but he puts ketchup on everything." But
Yep.
it was really good. I'm not usually like a massive like seafood eater, but I mean this place is like really 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 good. So I enjoyed that. Probably one of the highlights of the whole trip. And
That sounds like the low light for me because I hate seafood.
I think you would have liked this place though. Like they did this like really well, like the way they do everything. So
They have like other stuff too?
oh yeah, they had like steak and stuff too.
Alright, I would have been happy.
But after that, the next day, thankfully, it ended early, so we got to all go home early, which we were all kind of thankful for. So we kind of all went our separate ways, headed back to the Detroit area, and went back to our store to go ahead and like get our receipts and stuff ready so we could get reimbursed for stuff and get paid for our time there and whatnot, which. I don't know. It was kind of weird because I walk in and like all of a sudden they change everything. Like they like changed a bunch of stuff and like brought in like new printers or something. I'm like, what the heck? Like they start changing things once I leave, and there's all this stuff that's going on where people are asking me questions. I'm like, oh god, I wish I wouldn't have left, and then I come in and it's kind of funny because some of the guys, like one of the girls who works there who like isn't like super like tech savvy or whatever, but she still knows a lot about computers. They're all having her like install like all this like hardware on this guy's like old computer that he brought in, and I'm like cracking up at this. Like, what did I just walk in on? And like she didn't like really know what she was doing, but they were kind of just like showing her like, oh yeah, just put this in here or whatever. And she has like these like surgical gloves on while she's doing it. Like cracking up at this, but I was like super glad to be home. Like I was like, oh yeah, I'm just so glad I'm gonna get these next 2 days off to kind of relax. And I come back home and it's kind of cozy because it seems like all of a sudden, like while I'm gone, like it suddenly became fall. Like while I was out there, it was like in the 80s. It's like really warm, and then I come back and all of a sudden it's in the 50s, and they're like leaves are changing and stuff. And like my sister like decorated the house and like put all these like pumpkins out and stuff. I was like, hey, this is pretty cozy. But of course, I ended up having to get called into work the next day, so a lot of work. But super glad to be home and have all that a part of the past, so I can start looking back on it fondly and forgetting the bad parts. And then,
Well, I think that trip sounded really fun. I think you guys are a bunch of party poopers, personally.
hey, I think it would have been more fun if it was with you guys. I think because we would probably done some more crazy stuff, but we were a little bit out of our element there.
I feel like I'm happy to be anywhere. Like, if I got called in for jury duty, I'd probably enjoy it just for the experience of it.
To be fair, that can be fun at times, jury duty. That really can.
Sounds fun.
Although one thing I did forget to mention is like the first thing I see when I get home is that like on my door someone's put like a little like flyer like on the like near the door handle.
Yes.
Ostensibly Rhino running for like that political office around here in town.
I wonder if he actually went to your door or not, or if it was like someone working for him.
I don't know. Somebody was, because they put up a bunch of signs, and like there's like a bunch of signs in people's yards now and stuff for him.
Dude, if that was him, I am so saddened that you missed Rhino coming to your door. Because a lot of times politicians do actually go door to door themselves, because I've had like some come here before.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did, because I mean a lot of the other candidates have done that. The thing that amused me though is like I was reading the back of it, and it shows like how it shows like experience, and they're talking about their experience in like politics or whatever.
Yeah, it's like WWE,
Yeah,
TNA.
yeah, it's like worked as a professional wrestler for ECW, TNA, like or Ring of Honor, and WWF, WWE, and I was just like cracking up at this. And then my neighbors actually were like, "Oh, awesome!" and like put up the sign in their yard.
I hope he wins. I really do.
I think he has a pretty good chance. I really do because I'm seeing like a lot of support for him.
That's good. Well, like I said, that sounds like a fun trip. What are your thoughts on all this, Joe? That sound like a fun trip to you?
Definitely does. I can see his point too, where it's like, it's hard to make the most out of places that are kind of not really that active, if that makes sense. I could see how that kind of impacted the trip, but overall it did sound like a fun trip
own adventure.
and a fun getaway, so I definitely can make it. You had to that 1 week you were stranded out there by yourself.
Hey,
Well,
we
you know,
were
here's
like away for a week.
Here's the thing about me. Like, I hate going into work, I hate, like, getting ready and going there and stuff, but once I'm actually there, I feel like I actually am, like, in a better mood than when I'm actually at home. Because when I'm at home, I'm like, I don't have anything to do. Like, it's basically just I don't do anything. At least there's, like, interesting stuff happening. But I'll be like, oh, I have to go to work, oh, like, whatever. But, I mean, you see some interesting stuff there, There's never a dull day, that's the thing. Whereas there's a lot of dull days here, especially if I have to work the next day. It's like when I'm up, it's like you guys are asleep or doing something else. So it's like I can't really like go on like chat with you guys or like play games or something with you guys. So it's like I'm just basically sitting here like I don't know like reading Twitter or Facebook or something and like trying to like mentally like drown out all of the stupid stuff about the election season that I'm like so sick and tired of hearing.
We're all there, buddy. I know I'm there. I don't know about Joe.
I am. I don't even follow a lot of it.
It's hard not to follow it with just
Yeah.
everybody's talking about it.
Facebook trends.
Just another month. I'm actually more worried about like after it. 'Cause I feel like either way, like there's gonna be a bunch of angry people like starting crap.
Well, I don't see that there's any way that Trump could win at this point. Like I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. You would be surprised how many people around here are actually
Yeah.
support him.
Well, mainly it comes down to like a few states though. Like I know the election's like a nationwide thing, but ultimately there's like 3 or 4 states that decide it, and it doesn't seem like he's doing too well in those states. So I don't know. I mean, honestly, at this point, like I don't even like Hillary Clinton at all, but I feel like she's probably like the best choice. Like,
Yeah,
but I'm
out
not
of the
voting
two.
for her. Like I'm not voting for anybody. Like I'm not.
Yeah, out of the two, I'd probably go with her too. But I think this is a pretty grim election.
It
to be
is.
honest.
It's like I know she has the qualifications, but then there's just the like corruption and stuff that kind of.
Not really that crazy about like the other candidates either, really.
Yeah, I'm definitely not crazy about any of them. I'm not gonna, and there's no. I mean, I get it, like voting for a third party, like it's the principle of it, but I don't have really any.
I would love to be able to vote for a third party, but it's like I looked them up and it's like I'm not gonna just do it to do it. I want to actually be behind someone, and I just don't really feel behind anyone this year.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt a little bit like that, like last, but not like this election.
Oh, dude, like I wasn't really into last election either, but I would take just about anybody from the last
It's like
election over this.
every election year it gets worse, like somehow.
I'm not even I wasn't even like a huge Obama fan, but like if I could, I would just keep him in there right now.
Yeah. It's kind of funny though, because like I remember everyone thought like, oh, like the Bush Kerry like election season was like a mudslinging fest, like it was terrible, and it's like now it's like
It's gotten worse every single time.
I would do anything to go back to those days. At least I actually felt like I knew like what was right and wrong. Like you could like who was right to vote for and who was wrong to vote for. Like these days it's like just this blurry mess where it's like,
There's just a lot of people that's like, no matter what their party, like no matter how ridiculous their candidate gets, it's like they'll support their party like blindly, which I don't know. I guess that's kind of admirable in some ways, but in other ways it's just like, come on.
yeah. I don't know. I'm just so tired of it. Like, I hate even going on Facebook these days. Like, I hate like going on Twitter. It's like it's all I see. It's like all people are talking about it, and I'm like, seriously, I can't wait for this to just be over with.
Just another month, buddy. And then everybody will be talking about Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Much more positive.
Oh, I can't wait for that. It's so weird to me that
Coming up
Thanksgiving is
fast.
already passed in Canada.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't like that. Like Thanksgiving in October.
It's like before Halloween even.
Yeah, that just seems wrong to me. Like, and it. I hate to say this, but it doesn't even really seem like their Thanksgiving is that big of a deal.
It really
I'm sure
isn't.
it is to them, but
It really isn't. You know, like I've asked like before, like, hey, like, how big of a deal is? And they're like, well, they kind of look at it like it's kind of more like Easter here or something, where like people celebrate it and like they eat, they don't really do anything. You know, like it's not a big deal. They just make a dinner or something.
that's weird because Thanksgiving here always feels like this big event every year.
It is, and like people in Canada don't really understand. They're like, well, why am they making such a huge deal about this? It's like not really a big deal here. But
Oh, I think the fact that it's before Christmas probably has a lot to do with it too, because then you can say it's the holidays and
Yeah.
not just like. I think if Thanksgiving were in like September or something, it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal to us either.
well, dang, have you seen like some of the stuff that Kelsey's been posting? They've been getting like a ton of snow up there.
I that doesn't surprise me too much.
It's kind of weird for even for up there like this early. Usually it's like maybe after Halloween, like November.
Yeah, usually like we've gotten it before on Halloween, but it's usually just like a little bit and then it's gone the next day. Like our
Yeah.
first snow that actually sticks is usually like mid-November.
Yeah, we usually get like our first snowflakes around like around Halloween, and then we don't really get a real snow until like around Thanksgiving usually or after.
What do you say we jump into our quiz tonight, fellas?
All right, I have to link you to this quiz, so I forgot about that.
Yes, you do.
I'm ready to jump into this.
Thank you now, and I will reveal what it is once everyone knows what it is. I need the baton first.
You will reveal what it is once everybody knows what it is.
Well, once TF knows what... I mean, once TF and you know what it is, then I can reveal it to the audience. I don't want to ruin the intrigue.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wait until our audience knows what it is, and then we can reveal it.
What if
How's
our
that
audience
sound?
never knows what it is? How are we going to let our audience know what it is if we haven't played this to our audience yet?
We're,
Do
we're,
we
ju-
even have an audience?
we're just going to take the quiz, and at the end, we're going to say what it was. And people are just going to be wondering what it is the whole time.
Yeah. Let's not
Well,
give our answers.
well,
yet.
hey, our friend Chris Roboto, he still listens every week.
Hey.
We talk about it every now and then. So hey there, thanks for listening, buddy. Hope
Yeah,
life's
thanks for
treating you
listening,
well.
Roboto.
I
Probably our
See you
appreciate it.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm looking
And
forward to
Christmas.
that. I love seeing everyone show up. You know,
Yeah, me too.
I'm so excited for that. I need
Hope
Thanksgiving.
everybody shows up. I hope everybody shows up because like Easter this year, like a bunch of people forgot about it. We gotta get like everybody like on board early. Like Thanksgiving's coming up, fellas.
Yeah, we do. We gotta like start planting that seed like early. I think we kind of dropped the ball a little bit around Easter because it kind of snuck up on everybody. You know, like it was like super early.
All right. This looks fun. Which Snick's show are you? That takes me back.
Mm.
Yep, I figured that'd be a
Snick.
fun one.
Big orange couch.
All right, let me know when you guys are set.
I'm all set.
It's loading for me. It's taking a second. Okay, I'm set.
All right, question number 1. What award would you win in the high school yearbook? Nicest personality, most stylish, most unique, class clown, or scariest personality?
I was definitely the class clown. Like, it was actually like established in class that I was the class clown. Like in 4th grade, like the teacher would call me the class clown, and then like the next year, like 5th grade, like some guy's like, "Why do you want people laughing at you?" And I said, "Well, I'm the class clown," and he punished me for it for saying that I'm the class clown, even though like the entire year before, like the teacher was calling me the class clown.
I don't. Who knows? School. That's
Oh.
teachers, man.
Well, now's not a good time to be a clown.
No, it's not.
I have no idea.
Scariest personality.
I mean, as bad as it sounds, I might just go with like nicest personality, just because. I mean, I'm not
You're
gonna.
a nice fella.
I mean, I don't know if like. I mean, a lot of people say I'm nice, but like I'm not gonna be most stylish. Probably not the most unique. Not the class clown, and I hope I don't have the scariest personality. So just by, you know,
Oh, you're nice. I'd go with nice.
that's what I guess I'll go with. Just by kind of, I don't know, it's the only option that there really is.
I feel that's what I have to go with too. So I don't feel
I
too
could
bad.
see that though for you. I could
Yeah.
definitely see that.
Can't really see any others. But question number 2.
Joe's a clown. Yeah,
Choose
right,
an
Joe's a
ancient
clown.
choose an ancient Nickelodeon game show. Guts, Double Dare, Legends of the Hidden Temple, or Nick Arcade.
Nick Arcade, baby. I love that show.
Oh boy, this is tough.
It is a tough question.
Um, for me, it's probably between Nick Arcade and Legends of the Hidden Temple. Out of these, I think I'll go with Legends of the Hidden Temple, just because for some reason that one's the one that still sticks out the most to me.
Fine choice.
It's hard to go wrong though. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, I could pick any of these 4, but I'm be different. I'm gonna go with Double Dare because that was a fun show too at times.
It was a fun show. Mark Summers. It's on the Food Network now.
I think you told me about that actually, if I remember right. All right, which of the following snacks is best to binge watch TV with? Popcorn, burgers, breakfast food, chips, or gummy bears?
I like all these things, but I gotta go with burgers.
Oh boy, breakfast food I'm tempted to go with, but I think if we're talking about watching TV, eating breakfast food can be kind of messy. You kind of need to be at a table for that. Burgers, I think you can do that. You can work that out on the couch. So I'm gonna go with burgers. Can't go wrong with burgers.
No, you cannot.
See, I like the idea of burgers, but I think if I'm going with like a snack food for binge watching TV, I'd want something that would kind of last for a while that wouldn't like fill me up right away. So I'm gonna go gummy bears just to be a little bit different there too.
I do love gummy bears. Gummy stuff's probably like my favorite candy.
Up there. All right, question number 4 is, what are you most afraid of? Being made fun of, losing my friends or family, dog catchers, being bored, or nothing?
Dog catchers.
That picture's pretty
definitely-
funny too.
Yeah.
I definitely gotta go with losing my friends or family. That is my biggest fear, by far.
Yep, I gotta agree.
Well, dog catchers, obviously. But no, losing my friends or family is definitely the biggest one. All right, question number 5. What is the best medicine? Laughter, friendship, variety, or chocolate?
For me, it would probably be laughter or friendship, because I feel like... I'm gonna go with friendship, because I feel like talking to one of you guys always makes me feel better when I'm down.
Yeah, I think friendship. I gotta go with that too. I mean, really,
Yeah.
ultimately, any of those things could apply to friendship, you know? Like,
Yeah, raises a good point. That's what I'm going to pick, friendship. We are to our last question now. Choose a children's television icon. Elmo, Mr. Rogers, Mickey Mouse, or the Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
Elmo angered me, to be honest. Like, I feel like he took over Sesame Street from Big
did.
Bird, so... I never really watched Teletubbies. That was a little bit after my time.
It was kind of disturbing, to be honest with you.
I remember like seeing it, like the baby in the sun or whatever. That was creepy.
It was hilarious in some ways, but also just creepy and weird.
I respect Mr. Rogers a lot. He's a great man, but I think I'm gonna go with Mickey Mouse.
Oh. Yeah, I think for me it's got to be between Mr. Rogers and Mickey Mouse too. I think I'm going to give Mr. Rogers a nod here. Always loved Mr. Rogers. Great man.
It's always a beautiful day in his neighborhood.
Very
He
well said.
was a great man.
I feel like it's between those two for me too, but I think I'm going to go with Mickey Mouse in the end. I think he's just kind of just more iconic to me. And even though I love Mr. Rogers, it just works with Mickey Mouse.
Which Snick show do you think I am, TF?
It's a good question because I got to.
Yeah. I didn't even think about this before. I'm like, oh, which one is it?
Either, yeah.
That's a good question. What do you think, Joe? I'm thinking. I want to come up with a good answer for this.
Part of me's tempted to go with Pete and Pete. I just feel like for some reason that just fits them. But I'm not like
Yeah,
100%.
that does fit to me.
I think I would go with that if I had to pick. I think I'd go with Pete and Pete.
I'm cool with
I was
that.
either go with that or for some reason, I don't know why, but I was just thinking like all that, like for some reason.
I actually got all that. It says, you value friendship and find you enjoy life a lot more with some friends to share in the good times. You are naturally hilarious and always strive to bring joy to others. And then there's like a picture of your boy.
I could
cool
see
with that.
I could see that description a bit.
I'm cool with that. I liked all that. The original all that. 2001 wasn't very good. Although Chelsea Brummett was hot.
Yeah.
For UTF,
This is a tougher one for me to pick for TF here.
I think I'm gonna go with Joe first. I think Keenan and Kel's kind of an obvious one.
Yeah.
Is that both your guys? Okay, so that's both your guys' choices?
I
Yep.
mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah, that's good enough for me.
I know you love your Keenan and Kel.
That's actually what I got. Believe it or not, I got that. And it says,
Wow.
you know that having a good friend by your side makes life a million times better. You're a bit of a dreamer and always coming up with new and exciting plans to change your life. You are determined, loyal, and a bit on the silly side from time to time.
I don't know if that really describes you that well, but
Well,
I could see
after that clip TF played, I guess I am on the silly side from time to time. Back in the day.
Are you Cal and I'm your Keenan?
I guess that would work. You'd be the one scheming.
I am the schemer. TF, you can be Chris.
Oh, man.
TF, man. Shelby Woo. No.
Shelby Woo.
I just said that because I wanted to say Shelby Woo. I didn't even really like that show, but
I barely
So
remember it at this
obscure.
point.
so
I
obscure
remember
now,
it, but I don't really remember any episodes of it or anything like that.
Basically the same as me.
Was that even on Snick or like?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Remember that was on Snick, Alex Mack, Space Cases.
Yeah, I remember Alex Mack and Space Cases being on there.
I don't know why, but I'm tempted to pick Space Cases for TF. I don't even know why.
I don't really see that.
I
He
don't
doesn't
see
seem
it
like a
either.
spacey kind of guy.
Out of all of them, I think that's maybe the most fitting one that I can remember off the top of my head.
I
would
think I'll
be
go with
okay
all that for him too. I'm gonna go with all that for you too, TF. I don't know why.
Let's see what I actually got.
I know you're a Dan Schneider fan.
I am. I actually got Keenan and Kel.
Oh,
There we go.
I don't know if Joe read that off, but it says you.
he did.
Yeah, so that's what I got.
You're a dreamer,
Well, we-
TF.
I'm a dreamer.
We all got our Dan Schneider shows with Keenan and Cal on them.
We did. Yep, in different ways, but we did.
Fun quiz, Joe. I enjoyed that.
I thought it'd be a good blast from the past to come back with.
All right, Joe. Want me to
Alright.
take that baton?
Alright, man, you need the baton.
Don't hand it to me.
I'm
Hand it to TF.
I'm handing it to you because you're the host, so you hand it to TF.
All right, I'll hand it to TF.
I'm giving you the
Here you go,
spotlight.
TF. Thank you. Handing it over to you, TF.
A lot of pressure, guys. A lot of pressure now. This baton obviously has some power. Okay, so kind of doing something a little bit different this week.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah.
Not that different. Not that different. Kind of a mixture of like a would you rather blank and 5 random questions.
Ooh.
I kind of ran into this funny like kind of generator thing that kind of was generating a little bit of both. And I'm like, I'll just kind of make it a little bit of a hybrid. And I think we'll do more than 5, but
Sounds good.
I'll kind of randomize it. So hopefully get some interesting stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. And with no further ado, if you guys are ready,
I'm
Ready.
almost set.
I'll go ahead and do this. So I did pick a few ones that I thought were particularly interesting and kind of compiled them into a list, and I'm going to randomize this.
Submitted for the approval of Midnight Society.
Okay, and this could get a little bit crazy from time to time, so I'm just going to give you a forewarning. All right, let's see what we have for...
Well, this show never gets crazy.
No, never.
It might. All right, let's go with our first random choice. All right. Would you rather have your girlfriend or wife become 3% more like a goat every year, or wake up tomorrow and realize you've always been a goat? I'll let you go first. Joe, I'll let you go first.
Oh, you're mean.
Oh, okay, so the first one was my wife, and the second one's me, right? Like I find out I'm a goat.
Yeah. So it's basically, would you rather have like your girlfriend or your wife become 3% more like a goat every year, or wake up tomorrow and realize you've always been a goat?
I'm trying to think of how this is
I
possible.
don't know either.
I wouldn't want to be a goat, but at the same time, I think it'd be more like creepy if over time, like the one you love just turned into more of a goat, like more and more. So
Look, either way, you're one half of like bestiality.
I would just find out I'm the goat. That's what I would do. I am the goat.
Yeah, I'd be the goat too, because at least I've been unaware of this for my whole life. So it's like, hey, this girl must really love me if I'm a goat.
Kind of makes me laugh though, because like it makes me think of like everyone else you've interacted with. So like you guys on the trips, like maybe you just know I'm a goat, and you just think I accept that I'm a goat, and it's like this accepted thing that I never knew. It's like this whole time you guys are like with a goat the whole time, and you're just like, oh, we thought you knew. Yeah, we thought you knew, but you didn't know.
No, really, Joe, you are a goat. You don't know this?
No, I don't. I'm shocked.
The only goat I am is the greatest of all time.
I could see us like somehow managing to like have a goat like following us around like on a trip. I can honestly see that. Okay, let's do number 2.
Wait, what would you do, TF? Because
what would I do?
Person, what they would do.
Ooh,
yeah.
Hit me with the what would I do? Okay. I think I'm going to agree with I would rather become the goat, I guess. Because I mean,
you've
I've
always
always
been
been
a
it,
goat.
so it's kind of like I'm just kind of not really becoming it. I'm just kind of realizing it, you know, like nothing's changed. It's just
At least you can talk and walk and stuff.
yeah. True. I mean, goats are pretty crafty. They can do some pretty interesting stuff. They can like scale walls and stuff. So, all right.
Spider goat.
But that's just me. So, I'd rather realize I was a goat. All right. Let's move on here to question 2, which is a little bit less crazy than the one before.
It's my turn to go first now.
All right. Would you rather be able to rewind time for 60 minutes a day or freeze time for 60 minutes a day?
Ooh. I feel like there's perks to both, because with freeze time you could get like an extra hour of sleep without like losing an hour of the day. But rewinding time would allow you to do things knowing that you could reset them. So I'm going to go with rewind time.
Yeah, I think both are kind of attractive answers because, I mean, imagine, let's say you were like doing like let's say you had to take a quiz or something like that, or you had to do something and you didn't really know what you were doing. You would just like freeze time and like find out what the answer was, and then like on freeze time, or you could just rewind, kind of do the same thing.
Cheat.
So.
Let's cheat. Yeah.
You could ask girls out, but if they say no, you just rewind time and don't do it.
Yeah, but if you freeze time, like you can't undo it. So, what do you think, Joe?
It's a tough one because I can see both ways too, and then I think I would have to probably go with rewind time as well. Even though freeze time is tempting, I just think rewinding time would be pretty. Not even just for the whole girl aspect. I think if if you just want, I mean, sometimes you don't want to like avoid something that might lead to something better down the line. Like you don't want to mess things up. But at the same time too, if you get into like a really nasty argument or something, you could go back and kind of get rid of that, or something you want to take back that you said. So I would go with that.
I think I would choose rewind personally. So
just makes more sense.
Yeah, because I mean, you could pretty much achieve the same thing you could with freezing time, but you would also have the ability to undo some stuff. So.
And you got to keep in mind too, if you freeze time but you're not frozen, eventually time would catch up with you.
Yeah.
Because you would age faster.
Sure.
So like, I feel like by the end of your life, you would probably like lose like a year of your life.
Yeah, that's true.
If not more.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I mean, you would, over time, it would catch up to you because it would be kind of like you were almost going back in time and like reliving that whole time. So, I mean, I don't know if it would really play out the same way if you could rewind time or not. But yeah, I'm assuming you would get younger too if you rewound. You know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So.
So hopefully you keep the same knowledge and you don't just like keep rewinding yourself over and over and you're stuck in this loop for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Okay. Let's see. Third question. You're going to go first this time. Joe, let's see what we have here.
All right.
Where did my page go? Sorry. Well, technical difficulties here.
Did you guys hear about the Alex Trebek thing?
The whole nerd thing or something like that, or loser, yeah.
Yes.
Wait,
I
what?
heard about it.
There's like this girl that was on Jeopardy this week. Like, you ever heard of nerdcore? I guess
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
you rap nerdy things. Like Alex Trebek was like asking her like what this is, and she's like describing it. And he just like stays silent for a few seconds, and he's like, "Oh, so losers."
Oh, man.
And it like angered a lot of people.
Okay, we're back up and running. All right, we got question number 3. Would you rather, and this is actually kind of an interesting question, so I'm just going to state that here. There's a little bit of a backstory to it. Okay, in both of these scenarios, you're going to have the same intelligence level that you have right now. But would you rather be the smartest person in the world or the stupidest person in the world? Like having the same amount of knowledge you have now, you could either be at your level, which obviously you're not the stupidest person in the world, or you could be the smartest person in the world and,
Wait, so like everybody else would get smarter?
well, pretty much. Or you would be the smartest person in the world and everyone else would basically get dumber. That's how I interpret it.
I would definitely be as weird as it sounds, I'd be the stupidest person in the world because I'll tell you this. If I was a benchmark for the smartest person in the world with the knowledge I have now, I think the world would be doomed in terms of like technology and stuff like that. So it's like, we'd be kind of screwed. So I gotta go.
I gotta agree with that because there are people out there that need to like launch rockets or whatever. I would not feel comfortable knowing that I am the smartest person in the world.
Conversation would be kind
myself
of weird too.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think I would rather be the dumbest person in the world too, because honestly, if I'm the smartest person in the world, we're all doomed. Like,
Although think about it, if Chad was the smartest person in the world, he'd come on this podcast and be like, he'd berate us because he knows more than us. Although he could already probably say he could do that now.
I'd never do that.
Sure.
all right, let's see what our next question is here. Okay, you go first this time, Chad.
Dang
Let's see
right.
here. Would you rather have a trusty moose that will be there for you in times of need, or have the ability to summon all Canadian geese in a 25-mile radius to do your bidding?
I think I'd want the trusty moose, just because, I don't know, the geese thing just sounds kind of creepy, like you're this evil, like, geese master or something. But whereas the moose thing just sounds like you have a moose buddy, and that sounds kind of fun, so I'm going to go with the moose buddy.
And he's going to be there, like, he's going to be trusty, he's going to be there in your time of need.
I feel like that could happen here, honestly.
Probably.
I feel like either could happen because you live close to Canada.
True.
But,
You see geese every once in a while.
But now I'm picturing like our trips where like I'd show up like a trusty moose or something just to see your guys' reaction, and I show up like this like pack of geese, Canadian geese. And you're just like, what the heck is this? But
Would the geese, like, fly you to Chicago?
there you go. Hey, they would fly me there.
At the
I'm
same
picturing
time,
you, like, up in the sky, like, there's, like, geese on one arm, there's geese on the other arm, they're, like, flying you there.
What are you gonna say, TF?
at the same time, they could like let's say you were in trouble or whatever, they could save you, you know, like you have like a whole, like, in this case, you could have like thousands of them that are like at your disposal to like attack, you know, or like rescue you or something.
You got a
Terrifically,
big moose.
Chad just drove me to the point of the geese because he said they could fly me everywhere, so that would be pretty handy. So I'm gonna go with the geese.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think, because think about it, if you have like a trusty moose that's there for your times of need, it's like, I don't know if he could really survive around here, you know, like, but like the geese. Like I see those everywhere.
I gotta say this because it's just making me laugh at the visual. But when he said trusty moose, I'm picturing like the wrestler now, Chad. I think only you and I are probably gonna get that. I'm picturing like,
Moose. Moose.
oh man.
Moose.
All right, go ahead, TF. Sorry.
I'm gonna stick with my moose.
Well, what I was just gonna say is that at the same time, Canadian geese, like they like fly, like they migrate. So like, if you were like there in like the winter or something, or like in the summer or whatever, they might not be there. So
Well, you could make them come back.
well, I
Hey,
guess,
you can summon them.
but they're within like a certain radius, though. That's the
Okay,
thing.
well, if that's the truth, then considering they're from Canada, I'd probably be screwed because I live all the way in California.
I'm sticking with my moose.
I think
I'm
around here
sticking
they might be around all year round though, because I see them migrating, but at the same time I still see them in the winter. So, all right, so let's move on to the next question, and I think it's your turn to go first, Joe.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Oh, don't feel so sad, Chad. We'll be back to you in just a minute. All right, let's see what we have now. All right, Joe. And then we're already at question number 5. I'll just do a few more. So,
All right.
but would you rather receive $20,000 today to use on whatever you want, or gain the ability to summon Stone Cold Steve Austin 3 times in your life?
Oh
3
man.
times in your life.
Only 3 times, like a genie.
Can I summon him anywhere, or do I summon him just to me?
It can be anywhere. Like any 3 times you might need Stone Cold Steve Austin for some reason.
See, you're thinking of stuff when you need him. I'm just thinking of stuff like I just like play a joke on Chad or something where he shows up to his door.
Well,
like,
you could
one
do
day
that
randomly.
too.
Yeah, just imagine like Chad opens his door randomly, sees like Stone Cold there, and I'd have him like cut a promo on him or something, just like threatening him. Just Chad's reaction to this would be, that's tempting, but I gotta go with the money. I
It'd work out.
gotta go with the money. It'd be tempting, it really would, but you're gonna give me $25,000 now, and I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, as tempted as I am to have like Stone Cold and a moose, like always backing me up, I'd probably have to go with the money too, because as big of a Stone Cold fan as I am, I mean it's $20,000. As funny as it would be to have like Stone Cold appear anywhere, I mean, what can you really do? I mean, he could probably get us in Raw. I mean, that'd be,
Well, hey, we practically almost got in there already.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with the money.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the money too. I mean,
I haven't
as
had on.
fun as it would be.
I haven't had onto this though, because I'm curious. Instead of summoning Stone Cold 3 times in your life, what if you could actually become Stone Cold 3 times in your life? Like assume his identity for like 3 times that you want for anything. Would you still take the money, or would you take that?
I'd still take the money, but I'd have to think harder because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, and you would get into places and stuff too.
Well, you could probably
just
get
go, like,
$20,000 or something. You just
I just go
That's
like
true.
I just go like go stun random people.
Wow.
Just
Get
like
up.
go in the grocery store and start stunning people.
You do this, and then you go back to normal, and poor Stone Cold's in jail for something you didn't even know what he did. Oh man. Oh yeah, this is already a success of a feature just for that.
That's a good point though. Like TF, like you could go do like a Wizard World or something, and like
Yeah.
get a whole bunch of money.
It's true.
All right, I'm gonna be Stone Cold then. What about you,
Can't
Joe? Would
argue
you?
with that.
I probably would be too. See, that would be too tempting to turn down because you could do all kinds of you could do it at different times and different stuff. So I would do it.
You just like you go to Raw and you're like,
Just
"Hey,
walk out there.
Can
Yeah.
I go cut a promo tonight?" And you just go out and say whatever you want.
He's like the most random promo ever that he would never say. Got kicked out of WWE forever after that.
All right,
Oh,
I'm going
man.
to do a few more bonus ones here just because it's been
Good.
fun.
That's-
It's your turn. It's your turn, Chad, to go first. So
Yes, it
the
is.
next question we have is, would you rather have Morgan Freeman subconsciously narrate the rest of your life, or have a live studio audience that you can't see cheer you every time you enter a building?
I gotta go with the studio audience. That sounds
I
awesome.
know, every day like a sitcom, you know, like coming in the front door, hey guys, how's it going? Woo, yeah! And then everyone has to pause for a second and wait for the cheers to die down, and then you start talking again.
I'd probably make like this big entrance every time I walk into a room.
Be like Fonzie coming in or whatever. Hey.
Now, would other people hear this too, or just me?
I think other people would hear this. Like
That'd
kind
be
of
pretty
like
awesome,
Morgan
like, walk
Freeman
into
would
the-
narrate your life.
Imagine like walking to the grocery store and like,
You get in the car. Someone cheers.
Oh man. See, what I was you guys pictured like I'm just picturing like the variables of this, like, 'cause it says every time you enter a room. So what if you go like to the bathroom to like go to the bathroom and use it and like just
Well,
live to the audience?
Wait
Cheers.
They're
for the
not
audience
there
dies.
though. They're not there though.
I know they're
That's
not there,
the
but I'm just like laughing at the idea that like you walk into a bathroom and then like and then you because you're walking out technically going to another room when you're done and you just like hear this cheer of applause for you going to the bathroom.
Well, it says
Then
any building though, not necessarily any room. So
Oh,
I mean,
that's true.
let's say you walk into your house, they cheer, but they're not going to cheer when you go into your bedroom to sleep at night. Or let's say you walk into the grocery store, they'll cheer them, but they're not going to cheer like when you leave the produce aisle and go like in with the cereal or something, you know.
That might be bad if you're going to a funeral, though.
That's true.
Really fun show tonight, guys. It was a long one, but I was just happy to actually get to do a real show again.
Hey, we got to get those. You know, we got to get those hours in on our show. You know, we haven't
Yeah.
having enough of those, especially now with Joe here. So, I really enjoyed tonight. I thought we had some great features, great show all around, and it's great to be back together.
Yeah, let's hope we can get a streak going.
Yeah, man, the boys are back in town.
Yes, we are. All right, I want to thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you hopefully next week at some point.
Yeah, I thought we had a good show tonight. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. We're gonna try, and we're gonna try to get back in a groove here. So until then, take care and have a good one. Thanks for sticking with us through our very long and varied hiatuses.
Good to be back. Like they said, it's very good just to be back again, and thank you for listening to our hiatuses. I don't know if TF was done. Maybe I interrupted him. Did I?
Oh, no, I'm done.
Okay.
Joe.
So I heard like your voice in the background, but anyways, I do everybody take care. Have a good one. Don't you dare miss it.
Don't you dare miss it.